DAZN is the home of boxing, with over 150 live fights a year.
It's over! There's no way back from this, surely!
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
How do you like it? How do you like it?
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
That is what sport means. That is what the EuroLeague trophy means.
Are you not entertained?
I'm not supposed to be cheering, but this is X Series. I can do whatever I want.
Everything is difficult in this life, so still you need to be on it.
It all comes down to tonight. Don't miss the biggest night in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
Catching up on any NFL game is easier than ever before.
Looking to the end zone for the win!
Oh my gosh, one of the great games you'll ever see.
The competition is back, and the UEFA Women's Champions League looks set to be bigger and better than ever before.
It's their time. A night to remember.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
This is the moment the world has been waiting for. The judges are ready, the fighters are ready, the boxing world is ready. The fight starts now! Let's go.
How do you like it? On the show, so aggressive, so focused. It all comes down to this. With a corner knockdown. Still the undisputed champion of the world. Weigh in, live on DAZN. And we welcome you back to Orlando, Florida, as Matchroom's Fight Week festivities continue here in the Sunshine State. One more sleep away for Patrice Volny tomorrow night on DAZN. The main card gets started at 6:30 Eastern worldwide on the global home of boxing. Along with the IBF super lightweight champ Richardson Hitchens, I'm Justin Shackle. We're getting ready to hit the scales. One note for you on the main card, which was supposed to begin with the rematch between Jose Roman of Puerto Rico and Jaleel Hackett. That fight has unfortunately been called off after Hackett sustained an ankle injury, so we wish him well, but there's still plenty of action on this card, and it'll kick off with the former title challenger Jermaine Ortiz in action against the veteran Yomar Alamo. And then it is the pro debut of the U.S. Olympic bronze medalist Amari Jones, the Orlando native, in action for the first time as a pro against Italy's Alessio Mastronunzio. And in the co-feature, the return of the chosen one, Edgar Berlanga, as he takes on fellow Puerto Rican Jonathan Gonzalez Ortiz. And then it's the Ammo Show. That's what it's being billed as from Austin Williams himself. Williams back in the ring against Montreal's Patrice Volny. And Richardson, I keep thinking about what Ammo Williams was saying yesterday during the press conference, how we're kind of leaving the age of perfection in the sport. And Eddie was on set with us yesterday talking about how it's never okay to lose, but you have a chance to bounce back and respond from that loss. Look, you've never tasted defeat as a pro. You come from that Mayweather school of thought about the perfection. What was your take on all that?
I feel like a true competitor could always, bounce back from a loss. I feel like with Ammo Williams, he is right, though. Somebody that suffered a loss but has so much potential. A loss don't define who you is. So I feel like a lot of fighters in the sport is chasing that perfection, is chasing that but it is stopping a lot of fighters from making the biggest fights happen. Especially when you take a loss, a lot of times the boxing world kind of throw you in the back burner. But I feel like if a lot of fighters fight a lot of the best competition. Boxing will see a lot of the best fights. You see that with Bivol and Berdabeev. You see that in the past with a lot of great champions. So, of course, it's never okay to take a loss, but you always should have a winner's mindset. But a true champion can always bounce back.
I think the main event is going to be very interesting between Ammo and Patrice Volny, who comes to fight for sure, has had one career setback himself, and it was pretty controversial with a headbutt being involved, but this was a guy who wasn't too far away from a world title opportunity before COVID hit. Now he's trying to get this win and maybe enter the world rankings yet again. And for Ammo Williams, again, now 2 fights removed from his first defeat against Hamza Shiraz, another high-profile defeat. It's all about distancing yourself from those moments. But I want to talk about the co-feature here, and just specifically Edgar Berlanga, your guy, fellow New Yorker. He went through what all fighters aspire to do, and that's take on the pound-for-pound king and the cash king in Canelo Alvarez. Coming out of that experience, what would be your mindset after gaining that whole education of not only the fight week experience, but then the full 12 rounds with a fighter like Canelo?
I mean, like a fighter like Edgar, I don't think that him fighting Canelo did any of his future competitions justice, because this guy was already confident going into a Canelo fight. You've seen the build-up for the Canelo, his confidence, his, how brash he was, how outspoken he was. So I feel like now that just put a little bit more chip on his shoulder. That loss wasn't a loss. It was a W for him. I think that now he feel like he's not the king of the 168 division, but he feel like he's the young prince. And I think that he feel like he been in there with the king, and that man couldn't hurt him, do nothing to him. So now he's looking at all these other guys like food. So Edgar's just looking to pick up where he left off. So I think tomorrow night he's kind of going to go in there with the mindset that he's just overall the dominant man in that ring, and I think that suits him. And I'm looking forward to a great performance from him.
And we've heard Edgar Berlanga call out some names that was on his list. He talked about Jaime Munguia and Caleb Plant and Jermell Charlo as well. Out of those fighters, in terms of what could be next for Edgar Berlanga, which one of those matchups intrigues you the most as a fight fan?
I talk about this all the time. I think for Edgar, maybe a guy like Jamal, I don't know which one, the Charlo brothers would be a great fight for him. Caleb Plant is another lucrative big fight for him. He has endless opportunities when it comes to Edgar. Big name, Puerto Rico behind him, New York behind him. The opportunities is endless, but me personally, I would love to see him versus like a Charlo, or because Charlo been retired a little bit, so we don't know how that could really play out. But him and Caleb Plant is the next mega fight, or him and Jamie Munguia. I think there's so many guys and so many possible opportunities out there for Edgar. So we'll see.
Berlanga and Caleb Plant, seems like there's some natural hatred building up between those two. So that's a juicy potential matchup right there. Just running down the card. I mean, from a former Olympian to a former Olympian, Amari Jones, his much anticipated pro debut. He's taking on a guy that has over 100 pro rounds of experience. Just draw back to what you were thinking coming from the Olympics and then entering the pro game in anticipation for that first matchup. What kind of nerves build up on fight night?
When I fought my first professional fight, I was 18 years old, I believe. I was 18, 19. I was super young, and it was a big moment for me. And I know how it feels coming from the Olympics. Obviously he has that confidence. He's 22, so he's a little bit more on the mature side as a prospect, you know what I'm saying? So I think that he's going to handle himself right. And I think it's only right that he jumped into a fight like that to get his career going, especially, like I said, he's more on a mature prospect stage. So he's trying to, in a year, 2 years, already be in contender status. So this is how you do it, taking on competition early on in your career and showing the world, like, yeah, I'm for him for real, not having to build up his, his record.
Well, we're waiting for the start of the weigh-in here in Orlando ahead of Ammo Volny tomorrow night. And like we mentioned, Hackett Roman called off. That means Jermaine Ortiz is going to be kicking off the show against a fighter that you're familiar with in Yomar Alamo. I know you're familiar with Ortiz as well, but what was it like being face-to-face with Alamo in the ring? What could Ortiz be in store for tomorrow night?
I'm actually been in the ring with both guys. I think that Alamo craft and his awkwardness could throw, Jermaine off, but also Jermaine is a little awkward also. I think that it's a great fight. I don't think that they should look over they should look over Alamo, and Alamo definitely shouldn't look past, you know, Jermaine. So I think it's going to be a great fight, to be honest. I'm excited to see that one. To be honest, I think the fight could probably go either way. That's just my opinion. I feel like it's going to be a great fight for the card and for the people tomorrow. So let's see. I know Jermaine want to get back in contention to fight for a title. Alamo been chasing that for a long time, so both guys are hungry, so I'm expecting a great fight.
A couple more here with the champ, Richardson Hitchens. I want to stay on Jermaine Ortiz for a second because, look, he's 2-2 over his last 4 fights, but you take a look at those losses, close defeats to Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez, and he mentioned a win here perhaps forces the envelope, especially if you do it in dominant faction. At 140 pounds, how close do you feel Ortiz is to getting that world title shot when you take a look at the landscape, such as yourself and others holding the belts?
I think it's super close. He's super close. I think that, you know, he has the platform fight right now with DAZN and Matchroom. He has a opponent that haven't fought for a world title, but been in the ring with guys that won world title, guys like me, guys like Liam Parrow. So both of them guys have a lot of experience at the high level. So I feel like either a win for either guys right now is a win that's going to put them back in contention to, you know, start looking for the number ones, the number 2, the mandatory position, and hopefully a world title shot. So a win tomorrow for either one of them guys is it can be make or break for their career, to be honest.
Well, the champ's going to be watching closely. He's going to be watching closely next weekend as Matchroom touches down in Sydney for Kambosos Jordan. Right now, we're going to be watching the scales pretty closely as we kick off the weigh-in show with David Diamante.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome everybody to the beautiful Caribe Royale here in Orlando, Florida, for the official weigh-in of our big night of world-class professional boxing taking place here on Saturday night. And the whole card is being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We'll be sponsored by Bet Online, Everlast, El Mexicano, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Riyadh Season, Puncher's Chance, and Drip. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great fight card. We have 6 fights on the card. We got 4 title fights, and at the top of the bill, it's the return of the chosen one, Edgar Berlanga and Austin Ammo Williams. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start this weigh-in. Let's bring the fighters up to the stage so they can face the scale and face each other. Our first contest, 4 rounds in the super featherweight division. Now making his way to the stage with a professional record of 3 wins against 1 defeat from Colorado Springs. Please welcome Carl Rogers. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, undefeated in his young campaign as a professional. 3 fights, 3 victories, 2 of those coming by way of knockout. He fights out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, Carlos de Leon Castro. Now to the scale, Carl Rogers. $128.6 for Carl Rogers, 128.6. And now to the scale, Carlos de Leon Castro. $128 pounds, 128 pounds for Castro. We got Castro versus Rogers, 4-round super featherweights, Matchroom Boxing in association with Box Lab Promotions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the weigh-in continues. Our next contest, 8 rounds in the welterweight division. Now making his way to the stage, he fights out of Centenario, Neuquén, Argentina. Please welcome Mauro El Rayo Maximiliano Godoy. Godoy. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. Perfect professional record, 8-0, 7 knockouts from the Lower East Side in New York City. Here's the King of New York, Pablo Pretty Boy Valdez. Valdez. And now making his way to the stage, El Rayo, Mauro Godoy. 148.8 for Godoy, 148.8. And now to the scale, Pretty Boy, Pablo Valdez. 152.2 for Pablo Valdez, 152.2. Valdez versus Godoy, 8 rounds, welterweights, matchroom boxing, live on DAZN from Orlando, Florida. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, the first of our title fights, as Mr. Eddie Hearn, in association with Box Lab Promotions, Jimmy Birchfield's Classic Entertainment and Sports and Universal Promotions, are proud to present 10 rounds for the WBA Continental USA Super Lightweight Championship. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 22 victories, 3 defeats, 1 draw, with 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Peleando desde Caguas, Puerto Rico, damas y caballeros, here's the former IBF North American Junior Welterweight Champion, Yomar, the Magic Alamo. Alamo. And his opponent, now making his way to the stage, 18 victories, 2 defeats, 1 draw, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Worcester, Massachusetts. Here's the former world title challenger. Please welcome the technician, Jermaine Ortiz. Ortiz. Now to the scale, the Magic, Yomar Alamo. 139.6 for Alamo, 139.6. Now to the scale, the technician, Jermaine Ortiz. The super lightweight limit, bang on, 140 pounds for Ortiz. 140 pounds for Jermaine Ortiz. Ortiz versus Alamo, 10 rounds for the WBA Continental USA Super Lightweight Championship, Matchroom Boxing in association with BoxLab Promotions, Jimmy Birchfield's Classic Entertainment and Sports, and Universal Promotions, live on DAZN from Orlando, Florida. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the weigh-in continues as we go 6 rounds in the welterweight division. Now making his way to the stage, professional record 14 victories, 5 defeats with 4 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Ardea, Lazio, Italia. Fighting out of Italy, please welcome Alessio Lilo Mastronunzio. Mastronunzio. And his opponent now making his way to the stage for the first time as a professional. Saturday night, he'll be turning over. It's his much anticipated professional debut, fighting out of Orlando, Florida, Omari the Banger Jones. Now to the scale, Lilo Alessio Mastronunzio. $152.2 for Mastronunzio. 152.2. And now to the scale, Omari Jones. A trim and ready 149.4 for Omari the Banger Jones. Omari Jones, Alessio Mastronunzio, 6 rounds welterweights, Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Orlando, Florida. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're now at the top of the card. Our next fight, 10 rounds in the super middleweight division. Now making his way to the stage, he is undefeated in his campaign as a professional with a record of 20 victories, no defeats, 1 draw, with 16 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Please welcome Mantequilla, Jonathan Gonzalez Ortiz. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 22 victories, only 1 defeat with 17 big wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of the beautiful borough of Brooklyn, New York, and represents all of Puerto Rico. Here is the former WBO, NABO super middleweight champion and former world title challenger, Edgar, the Chosen One, Berlanga. Now to the scale, Mantequilla, Jonathan Gonzalez Ortiz. Ciento 167.4, 167.4 for Mantequilla, 167.4 for Mantequilla. And now to the scale, the Chosen One, Edgar Berlanga. 169.6 for the Chosen One, 169.6 for Edgar Berlanga.
Face to face. Face to face, Edgar.
Edgar, the Chosen One, Berlanga. Jonathan Gonzalez, Mantequilla Ortiz. 10-round super middleweights, matchroom boxing, live on the zone from Orlando, Florida. And ladies and gentlemen, our final fight on the card as Mr. Eddie Hearn proudly presents 12 rounds for the WBA Continental America's Middleweight Championship. Now making his way to the stage, professional record 19 victories, 1 defeat, with 13 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Here is the former NABA and NABO middleweight champion, Patrice Volny. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, professional record 17 victories, 1 defeat, with 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of H-Town, Houston, Texas, here's the former WBA International and the IBF North American middleweight champion, Austin Ammo Williams. Now to the scale, Patrice Volny. $159.4 for Patrice Volny, 159.4. And now to the scale, from Houston, Texas, Austin Ammo Williams. The middleweight limit, bang on 160 pounds for Austin Ammo Williams. Austin Emma Williams, Patrice Volny, 12 rounds for the WBA Continental America's Middleweight Championship, Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Orlando, Florida.
Making weight, and off the heels of the face-off, one final message from each fighter, starting with Patrice Volny right here. And Patrice, an opportunity awaits you tomorrow night. A win catapults you inside the top rankings at 160 pounds. Why is Ammo Williams in for a serious fight tomorrow night?
I've been waiting for that fight a long time. I've been waiting for this type of fight. I have the opportunity now to take advantage of it. So 100%, we've been ready a long time ago. We've been in the ranking before COVID. COVID kind of slowed us down, but now we're back at it, and we take every opportunity to have. And today it's a big one. So tomorrow is showtime.
You said earlier this week that you specifically instructed your team to get this matchup. Why?
Absolutely, because that's the type of fight I think you have to pass on. You have to go on those type of fight to even trying to build up or go to the level of the highest stage. I think that's a big step. That's a good step. That's a perfect step for me. I'm ready for it just before going for this couple world title.
What'd you see in Ammo's eyes just now?
He's ready. I know he's ready. He's ready. He's always, every fight he was ready. He's ready for a fight. He's ready for a war like I am. So I think it's going to be a great show.
You're in good spirits. You're calm. You're focused. Patrice, good luck to you tomorrow night.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Patrice Volny going to be taking on Ammo Williams, and we're going to go across the stage and get one final remark from Ammo as he gets ready to roll. And Ammo, you saw the look in Patrice Volny's eyes as well. You have that own look in your eyes, and I tell you what, it's always a pleasure to see you kind of flip the switch. What ignites the switch for Ammo Williams?
Excitement, happiness, confidence. I found a different level of confidence. Me and my coach, Kevin Cunningham, have been training for this since the beginning of December. We have not overlooked Volny. We've studied him. I know he's a great fighter, but that's what you need. You need the opposition to be great, to show greatness. And I'm ready to show I'm on a completely different level. I'm about to show the world what a true champion, world champion looks like in every way. Inside the ring, outside the ring, but we already did everything outside the ring. On Saturday night, you will see the switch be flipped.
And you've been billing this as the Ammo Show. What about the Ammo Show is going to be different from some of the past performances from Austin Williams?
It's my show. This is the first time it's my show. And I can give it everything I've got. I've been happy to be a supporting feature in all the other shows. I've been happy to. I mean, look what Eddie put me on. Canelo shows, out in the United Kingdom, Anthony Joshua shows. I've been on the biggest shows in the world already, and I've been able to be a superior support. But now it's my time to show what happens when everything comes together for talent and for someone who is knowledgeable about the sport, all thanks to my coach, Kevin Cunningham.
What's your final message to the fans and to Patrice Volny?
Do not blink. It will be beautiful. It's the Ammo Show. It's the beginning, the world premiere. I'm telling y'all, do not blink. It is going to be over in a switch. Do not blink. I'm telling you, be prepared. The Ammo Show will be the greatest show on this planet.
Ammo, thanks for the time. Best of luck tomorrow night.
Thank you so much. I love everybody.
And we turn to Eddie Hearn for a quick moment before we close things out. You've been with Ammo Williams since 2019. He's mentioned all of his performances have been broadcast on a world stage here. Now he's headlining. What are you noticing from him this week?
The great preparation, that's the difference. You know, sometimes the preparation's been hot and cold, and this time he's got it right. He still has a world-class opponent in Patrice Volny in front of him. It's a very, very tough fight. It's a great fight, but it's the kind of fight that's going to prove if he's ready to move on and fight for the championship of the world in the middleweight division. And listen, he's a great character. It's an incredible story. He's got it all, but he's got to win tomorrow night in a tough fight, and it'll be a very good one.
Given the landscape at 160 pounds, how close could a world title opportunity be if Ammo comes away victorious?
You know, if you look at the champions, they're all tremendous fighters, but the profile and star power is quite limited in some respects. Adames, Lara, and a WBO champion probably set to move up at some point as well. So, the kid's a star, but you've got to look good, you've got to win, and you've got to prove your credentials as an elite middleweight. In the past, he fell short once against Hamza Shiraz. I don't think, I mean, arguably shouldn't have been in the ring that night, but Hamza is a class operator, and it was a great fight. So now, with a full camp behind him, go and prove you're a world-class middleweight, and he's got the chance tomorrow.
Eddie, we appreciate the time. We're going to talk to you plenty tomorrow night here at the Caribe Royale in Orlando. Ammo Williams, Patrice Volny, our main event, live on DAZN. Don't miss it. The action starts off at 6:30 Eastern here from Orlando, Florida. For our entire DAZN and Matchroom crew, I'm Justin Shackle. We'll talk to you tomorrow night from the Sunshine State.
This is the moment the world has been waiting for. The judges are ready. The fighters are ready. The boxing world is ready. The fight starts now. Let's go.
How do you like it? On the show. So aggressive, so focused. It all comes down to this. Still the undisputed champion of the world. Weigh in live on DAZN.